What's up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. Um, Got to talk about this for a second to try to see if we can tie this thing together. The rapper Pontiac DDG, he came out and he said that um, today's rappers are 10 times better. Um, just said 10 times better. I guess he's meaning than the rappers from back in the days. And according to the quote, it said, people don't listen to Biggie and Tupac anymore. Now, we got a lot to kind of ravage through to get some understanding on this. Um, First of all, me personally, I'm a fan of DDG. A lot of y'all might not know who DDG is, but he started off doing YouTube, and I guess he was rapping at the same time. But uh, he puts out some really good music, and I actually um, went to one of his shows when he came down here a few years back. I went and seen him because I'm a fan, and and I think that he's pretty good. But I gotta disagree with him, especially in terms of to say people don't listen to Biggie and Tupac anymore. I think that a lot of times these conversations come out mainly because of it's a generational type of conversation. In other words, DDG is in his 20s. He's a younger brother. And, of course, we know Biggie and Pac were gone in 96 and then Biggie in 97. So you're talking about literally close to 30 years that these brothers have been gone. But despite the fact that they are gone, there's still a lot of rappers from that same era who are still around and are still very active and are still very potent in terms of their skills, in terms of their productivity. They still getting it in. Um, this is an argument that nobody is ever gonna win, ever, because again, it's generational. And when you growing up, the things that you uh, are listening to when you growing up, the artists that you listen to when you growing up, they're gonna always hold that number one spot in your heart because that is the music and those are the artists. Well, those are the artists and that is the music that shaped you, that created what they call the soundtrack to your life as you were growing up. And anytime you hear those songs years and years later, it still puts you back immediately in that place where you was, and nobody can tell you that that wasn't the greatest era, that wasn't the greatest music, and those were not the greatest artists. So it's the same thing can be said about the um, the young people of today. The artists that they listen to that we might look at and go, I don't see it, I don't hear it, I'm not fitting it like that. It's the same thing. This is the music in their mind that's like, man, this is just the best of the best. This is what we come up to. This is what's shaping us and shaping our styles and our ways of thinking or whatever. Whether you agree or disagree with, that's the reality of it. If you understand what I'm saying, it's um, similar to like the NBA. You know, you got different generations of players. You got us who come along in the Michael Jordan generation, and then you had the LeBron generation, who was like, man, LeBron is better than Jordan, man. Y'all old cats is crazy. And then you got the older people who saw Jordan and LeBron. They go, no, it's nowhere in the world. So that argument persists and persists, and nobody is ever gonna win it. Then you got older people that say, man, the best player I ever saw was Bill Russell. Oscar Robert. If I had a draft, give me Bill Russell over anybody today. And now there's a generation coming up under LeBron and all those guys that people are gonna take over LeBron. It's just the nature of things. But I think it's also really important to learn history. You know, those who did not live the history have to learn the history. And when you're older, you have an advantage because you lived it, and it gives you the opportunity to have seen everything and everybody. When you're a little younger, you had a slight disadvantage because you come along at a time where things had already taken place before you got here. You know, this hip hop thing, there's a lot of cats that was on an incredible level before a lot of our brothers and sisters who were 20, even 30s was even around. So you got to go back and do that research to hear. And you can't really just generalize and just say, well, nobody listens to Biggie and Pac no more, because that's just not true. A whole lot of people listening to Biggie and Pac. I would venture to say that if you were able to do research on the streaming numbers, on the download numbers, just the digital side, you would see that even today, that music is still being um, purchased and listened to on a grand scale. So you're gonna always have an affinity to your era, to your generation. Just what it is, because that's what you are more immersed in. But to tie everything together, to bring us all together, we have to understand the whole as much as possible. The WHOLE, the whole, the totality, as much as possible. Same in R&B. Same in R&B. We'll say, hey man, they don't make R&B songs the way they used to, man. This stuff today is just straight. But the young people that's listening to the R&B that's coming out now, they swear by it. So we're not gonna agree on everything, and then we don't have to agree on everything. But we one thing we should never do is let our disagreement create division. We have to use our disagreement to work to gain understanding. Like, why you feel like this dude is the best? Why you feel like this cat is the best? Why you feel okay, old school? Why you feel like this? And let's put that together. Put it together and make it something that could be a teaching tool, a learning exercise. Because I think that if we divide in situations like this, start arguing and tripping with each other, then both generations or all generations will miss out on good music. The younger generation would definitely miss out on some great, great music that came long before them that I believe they would love. And me, like I said, me being a fan of DDG, um, and I'm an old school cat from that old school era. I feel like there are a lot of old school cats who would be missing out on some of the newer artists that are coming up, because all of the newer artists ain't on that silly stuff. All of them ain't on that crazy stuff, man. It's a lot of these young cats that's spitting. A lot of these young cats got something for real. So let's tie it together, man. All right, man. It's your big brother K-Rino. I'll hit y'all with another one real soon. Don't ask me why I did that. Peace.